I'm now standing here live at the Press Club in Washington, D.C. with Stephen Bassett, the man behind the citizen hearings happening all this week in Washington, D.C. Stephen, what's the response been? How's the conference been so far?
Well, we're predictably, because this event is 5 days, 30 hours, the press interest is building because you know how it is. And when you have something over a couple hours on a given day, they come, they don't come, that's it. But with this, some come on Monday, and then the others learn that they've been there, and then they think they should come, and then before you know it, it builds up. So yeah, we're getting a lot of press, some good, some bad. We've got a lot more coming. The major players, CNN, NBC, CBS, ABC, New York Times, Washington Post, all here. And now it's going to be interesting to see the coverage that they create. And they need to understand something. This isn't 1975, it's 1985. So if they write some silly article, they're going to have to deal with the fact that we have archived this entire event. And we can show the footage to the public of what they're writing about. And they can compare the actual event to their articles. And so they really risk embarrassing themselves if they don't do good journalism on these kinds of things and just kind of stick with what I call the truth embargo and go along to get along.
Absolutely. And the people that you have on the panel testifying, you have dignitaries from China, from all over the world. 12 nations just testified under oath. And we had China just bring out some ancient artifacts, which they quoted 10 million years old. So there's lots of factual data that's been released here. What do you think the future or what will happen after this hearing? Do you see this as planting seeds, or do you see an actual movement more shaping after the hearings?
Oh, look, there's a very clear strategy here. PRG, Paradigm Research Group, got a petition into the White House back in September of 2011, which, under the rules of the White House set out, required a response. The response came on November the 4th of 2011, stating that there was no evidence at all for any extraterrestrial life outside our planet or engagement of humans, or the government was hiding anything. Remarkable statement, completely false. So now, 16 months later, we've just held a hearing, brought in 40 witnesses with a whole bunch of evidence that the White House claimed in writing doesn't exist. Now the press has got to decide whether they're just going to accept whatever the hell the government says, or whether they can do their job and challenge what the government says, particularly when there's national security involved and what have you. So in the case of the Iraq situation, the government said, well, there's weapons of mass destruction there, and the press goes, well, like you said, it must be true. Now, what, 500,000 lives later and $2 trillion? Now, for 65 years, the government said there's no extraterrestrials here, when in fact there are. And so this game has got to end, all right? So what we're hoping to have happen is that the amount of coverage, the amount of testimony and public interest will come together to create a critical mass situation that sets off a chain reaction in the media. Some refer to it as a media feeding frenzy. We've seen a number of those in the last 25 years. And there's probably few powers in the universe greater than a media feeding frenzy. I mean, once they get going, that's it. It's over. If even a reasonable number of top papers or news organizations were to start investigating and challenging the government's theories and start asking the tough questions, or government statements rather, the truth embargo would not last the summer of this year. So our goal with this citizen hearing is to end the truth embargo, which means, and what does that mean? It means that the embargo on acknowledging the extraterrestrial presence would result and disclosure, which is an event, a capital D, big event, disclosure by the U.S. government, logically maybe, of this ET presence would take place, or another country would do it. Acknowledgement of the extra. That's all. That's all it is. It's not, here's what the saucers look like, here's what they eat for breakfast, here's where they come from. No. Just they're here. A simple statement.
Yes.
That is disclosure. The goal of this event is nothing less than that this year.
Excellent. And where can people find out more information to follow up, get involved, and stay connected with you and Paradigm Research Group and everything else that's happening?
Well, this citizen hearing franchise we're developing could be very powerful. This has never been done before, like this, using former members of Congress, like this, at this level, at this expense. I mean, we spent over $600,000. We may do this again, all right? Related to this issue, maybe related to other issues. So people need to, they can follow what our developments on this track by going to citizenhearing.org. There is a movie that is going to be made from all this called Truth Embargo. We will have a website on that up in a few weeks.
Excellent.
They can follow the development of the movie. They can even help to make the movie. And then, of course, Paradigm Research Group, paradigmresearchgroup.org.
Excellent.
Will continue to do its thing, but the website, Lord knows, needs to be updated. It looks like a 1975 shag rug is what it looks like. I mean, it's got a lot of nice content, but it just isn't cool. So I'll be updating the website soon.
Excellent. Well, Stephen, thank you so much for your service and putting this together. It's a historic, epic event happening here at the Press Club, May 3rd, 2013.
You're very welcome.